What's up, everybody? As always, you know we start this show off by paying those fucking bills. So, guys, we have obviously one of the sponsors on tonight. So we'll be talking about them, but I'm going to do their read as well. I want to start off with my friends over at Yellow Jacket. Guys, you know that Yellow Jacket is near and dear to me. They've been a sponsor of this podcast the whole 5 years that I've been doing it. They actually started sponsoring me before I even put out a podcast. So what they saw in me, I'm not sure, but, you know, I thank them. I can't thank them enough, and not to mention that they make awesome products, and they're sending me like all this stuff that you guys see in these giveaways, the Yellow Jacket stuff, of course, they are sending for me to give to you guys. All right, so let's be very thankful for that. Guys, as most of you know, I've been in the trade 20 years, and those days that I look back working with my dad mean the most to me. My dad used to always say that if you buy good tools, you spend money on good stuff, that they'll last forever and they'll do what you ask them to. You don't have to keep buying the same tools. And for me, that brand was Yellow Jacket. My first gauges were the Yellow Jacket gauges with the Yellow Jacket hoses. And as far as I'm concerned, no matter what brand of manifold you buy, you should have Yellow Jacket hoses on it. Signed, sealed, delivered. It's not even a question. Guys, they've been making quality products for 70 years and counting. You know, a lot of people cheapened out and started sending shit overseas. Yellow Jacket didn't. They still make all their products right here in the US of A. They have an amazing team, amazing people over there. They've been coming out with some amazing new products. I told them before that they were a little late to the game when they were coming out with stuff, but one thing I will say is everything they've come out with has knocked it out of the park. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, and the whole reason you're buying the tool. So, guys, remember, 70 years of expertise built into every tool. Next, this is another one I'm going to do real fast is, guys, I said something about this Monday is CompanyCam. When I first started using this, I did not realize what this thing could do. I'm like, okay, it makes it so my pictures aren't mixed into my library on my phone. As you guys know, I just came back from vacation. And like I said Monday, I went to find a picture of my daughter doing something, and guess what? I found it like that. I didn't have to go through 47,000 fucking photos of nomenclature plates or furnaces or ACs, because those are in a spot that they should be. Catalog with that customer inside of the CompanyCam app. They're geotagged. They're marked exactly when you take the picture. They're covering your ass because it has that timestamp. It does so many different things. You have to check this out. CompanyCam, they will give you a free 14-day trial. Free. Cost you nothing. No credit card. Nothing. Free. If you don't like it after 14 days, then hey, don't do it. If you do, which I know most of you will, they will give you 50% off your first 2 months. All right. So go to CompanyCam.com/HVAC Uncensored to be able to get that deal, the free 14-day trial, and then 50% off your first 2 months. This one, guys, is the big dog that is here tonight. My friends over at Bluon, all these podcasts we can do, and we're talking about another thing tonight that they're adding to this repertoire of stuff they did just added. Now you guys know that you can order your parts directly through the Bluon app if you are a Bluon Pro member. I keep looking at the wrong damn camera. You can order your parts through the app if you are a Bluon Pro member. You have all the numbers, the models, the serials. So you do all the normal stuff. You get your manuals, you get your tech support, you find exactly the part you need. Now you can order it from the same local supply house that you always go to right inside of the Bluon app. And guess what? You're sending over exactly what the supply house needs. You're making their job easier, and you know you're getting the exact part that you need. No more going to the supply house, picking up the wrong motor. It's a busy day in the summer. You get to the job. Fuck, this isn't the right motor. Guys, Bluon is making it as easy as can be, and now they're adding something on top of it that we're going to talk about today, and I can't wait for you guys to hear about this. So, guys, if you have not already downloaded the Bluon app, I want you to punch yourself in the nuts because I don't know why. Then I want you to go download the Bluon app, become a Bluon Pro member, and start getting those benefits that everybody else is getting. All right? Let's get this pledge and rock and roll. We got a great show for you tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue-collar people talking about blue-collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil KV Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. I'm your host, Gil KV Jr., here on another Wednesday and another awesome freaking show for you guys to have. Guys, we're going to get right into this. As you know, Mr. Peter has been on before, the CEO of Bluon. But today we also have Mr. Matt, the CEO of Curri. You guys have heard us saying how Bluon, you're going to be able to order parts and have them delivered. Well, now you're going to be able to hear about that. So, guys, if you could please welcome these two fine gentlemen to the podcast, Mr. Peter and Mr. Matt. How are you, guys?
Fantastic.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Oh, of course,
Sit
of
in
course.
the backseat of a Jeep. Couldn't be better.
Yeah, just so you know, Mr. Peter is like on vacation in the middle of an island, but he's, see, he still does this podcast for me. Thank you.
Amen.
Yeah, you see, I didn't take on the last name. I figured I'm just gonna leave it alone. I was feeling tongue tied there for a second, but I guess we'll go into this. So I guess we'll start with you, Mr. Peter. For people, if you missed the last podcast that I did with Mr. Peter, you should go back and watch it. I guess let them know who you are real fast before we introduce Matt and start getting into that avenue.
Sure, yeah. Real quick, Peter Capicciati. There's the last name for you. CEO, founder of Bluon. You guys know what we do. We're out there every day trying to help technicians. That's what we do, right? We look at what makes a technician's life easier. We've got 40 of the best technicians on our team helping us understand what those needs are, where those frustration points are, and we put it all into a single sort of Swiss Army knife application, which gives you everything you need when you're on the job, from 300,000 models to the manuals, to the bulletins, to the tech specs, to the controls. And now we have parts of the bill of materials for every single one of those manuals, which is a unbelievably huge amount of data at your fingertips, which you guys need to check out if you haven't seen it, because it's really kind of mind blowing. And then now we connected all of those parts to right now about 1,500 local distributors, a lot of big names, a lot of small names, local names all over the country that let you order those parts straight to those guys, pick it up like a digital will call. What used to take 2 hours now takes 5 seconds, and you're off to the races. And every day we're doing more and more, and it's all about helping the tech, right? Literally, we're a grassroots sort of organization, and we've figured out how to basically get the industry to pay for free tech support for you guys. And, we couldn't be more stoked to do that, and grateful for the opportunity to help the techs.
That is awesome. I guess, Mr. Matt, if you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself to the listeners, let them know who you are.
Sure, yeah. Matt Lafferty, co-founder, CEO of Curri. Essentially the way the world delivers construction and industrial supplies. Working with all the major distributors across the U.S., just like Bluon is as well. And fulfilling deliveries. We're often the way that distributors are getting supplies out to technicians and general contractors to complete their work more effectively. Nothing makes me happier than making a contractor more efficient with their time, so they can spend more time with their family, and be more efficient at their job, make more money, provide for their families more. So that's our whole mission.
That's awesome. It's funny because you can ask Mr. Peter, when I first talked to him, that I was like, yeah, it would be awesome if you had like a delivery service. And he was like, we do. I was like, this is amazing, because like I tell everybody, no matter what time of year it is, not all, like, my company, we can't I guess we could use one of the younger guys, a parts runner, but he's more valuable in other places. So if we're working there helping a customer, trying to be thorough, which is what we're trying to do, a really good job, that wow service, I want to get people up and running the same day. So rather than having to run and go get that motor or whatever it is, I can be cleaning something while somebody else brings it to me. You add a small little convenience fee onto the customer. What customer's not going to pay an extra 50, 60, 100, whatever bucks in the middle of the summertime or the middle of the winter? They're all going to do it. So that's why I think that it's an amazing service that I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, but I am very, very, like, in our industry, but I think it's awesome that it's here and it's hugely valuable.
Awesome. Yeah, we're super pumped on it. Getting extreme traction with a lot. I mean, we're delivering in 49 states. The only one that's not opened up right now is Alaska. Moving things nearly every few seconds of the day. From something that would fit into a sedan or like a coupe, very small vehicle, all the way up to semi trucks, everything in between. We're moving everything with every type of vehicle, essentially at the touch of a button.
That's amazing.
And that's why we're so excited to be working with Bluon. It's huge for us.
Yeah. It's so cool, Gil, because when you think about it, you know, the reason it hasn't happened, in my view, and Matt, jump in here, is it's not a normal situation, right? First, you need a company like Curri that's got, you know, the huge reach, who's already set up the logistics channels and all the drivers, which, by the way, is a fucking Herculean task. So unbelievable, you know, that Curri is in position to do that. But then you have to crack the riddle of how a technician interacts with a distributor. And you know that better than anybody else, Gil. It's not like you know when the thing's ready to pick up. It's not like you know how long it's taking to pack it. All these are variables that don't exist like in a regular world where you're having your Chinese food picked up by Uber Eats and brought up. It's a whole different animal. So there's so many different things you got to figure out how to make that experience work. Like, you don't know when it's going to get picked up. You don't know where the tech's going to be when it gets delivered. All those are variables that are so fluid within the day of a tech. So we've been spending a lot of time sort of whiteboarding it all out to make that experience work. Right? Because once we latch on to that Curri call, you know, to get the driver to come pick it up, there's so many things that have to happen before that happens in order to make it work. But we're super stoked about it. You know, because we have so many technicians telling us every day how it works, what goes on. You know, we're in a unique position to solve that riddle, take advantage of the amazing business that, you know, Matt's built, and put these two things together. I mean, I really think that, you know, fast forward 2 years, who in the world, to your point, would ever pick anything up ever again? It makes no sense. Why would you ever do it? Once you have it figured out, you know, it's like you take it's like an unknown industry currently. You have runners, but you really don't have a sophisticated logistics structure to get parts from supplier to technician at site X. And we are so stoked about it. It's going to be a real game changer for the whole industry.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's pretty awesome. And you guys, when I talked to Miss Alice, you know, the other week, so you guys do this, like, this isn't your first rodeo. Like, you're in this market. Like, what are some of the other things you guys are currently, like, delivering and, you know, other things that you guys do?
Yeah, we're serving just about every construction vertical. So when we first started, just to give you some background, the very first vertical we started with was plumbing and HVAC. And we had a strategic reason for that. It is the most difficult material, I think, to move. HVAC, big, bulky, easy to break. Hey, if we can crack that nut, like, we can deliver anything. So that's typically how we've approached geographies. Like, let's continue to deliver for plumbing, HVAC distributors and suppliers, and then move on to other verticals once we're established in those areas. And that has been an amazing strategy for us. So definitely a deep affinity for plumbing and HVAC, especially. Not that I don't like the other verticals, but we're moving everything. We're moving stuff for waterworks, electrical, solar panels, metals, big giant like cement structures that are going into like city planning, new projects and things like that. Just about everything I've seen pictures of, because we get proof of delivery photos, so like those pop up on our system, and we're constantly geeking out of what we're moving. It's just fun. Cool. We wake up every day and like, and how much movement is going to be occurring across the U.S. because of what Curri is and what Curri has built. Super exciting to make the industry more efficient, more profitable. All the stakeholders are happy. Like the distributors are making more sales because they're not, they don't have to say no to deliveries. Contractors and technicians are stoked because they're more efficient with their time. They're literally making more money. Like the basic napkin math for a general contractor, or let's just say a single contractor working on a project with a team of one. We're making them about a 12th more productive, like literally helping them gain an entire month of their time back. And that's just with a single person operation.
Well, and one thing that I've noticed that I see is there's a lot of companies out there, like they're raping people on the shipping, which whatever, we all know in the world we're living in, you get what you pay for, whatever. That's not even the problem. It's that some of these services that they use, these shipping companies that don't always do the kind of products that we work on, they're all coming fucked up. Like for example, we had a commercial rooftop we put in. Things only like 2 years old, and from the factory, like coils leaking. Obviously customers pissed. I'm trying to get the coils and stuff out. They came in, and for us, coils, they're filled with nitrogen, so they should hold pressure. If they don't hold pressure, then we know it's leaking, minus just seeing it all beaten and banged up. It came in 3 times, smashed to holy shit. It's just like, it's hard to get stuff as is now, and then when we get it, it looks like somebody beat the living piss out of it. So it's like when you have a company that can help simplify this for you and knows what they're delivering, okay, I shouldn't smack this box all around or whatever. That's huge. I know that's hugely valuable to me and my company, and I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah, big pluses from everybody. Distributors are happy because they're delivering a product that's intact and taken care of. Proof of delivery photos and tracking, and then the customers are happy because their distributors are able to provide that delivery for them in a timely fashion. So yeah, it's a win-win. Stakeholders are happy.
So let's do this real fast, and I guess both of you can chime in on this. So people, we joke and say, oh, it's gonna be like the Uber for HVAC. So is this designed for okay, I'm on a roof, I'm working on something, I call a supply house, oh, hey, we have that motor. Somebody can go pick that up and bring it to you, same day kind of stuff, or it's more how does that work? Am I thinking the wrong way? I just want to make sure that I'm not telling people, or people aren't thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
It's all the above. Yeah, it's all the above, and you can jump in. I mean, the way we're building it out, it'd be in terms of how we request the pickup from Curri is all the above, right? So it would be that's what I was explaining a minute ago. It's really complicated because of all of those potentials, right? There is the one you just mentioned where the guy's going to get a compressor and he wants to set up the job, and it's like right now, right? Then there's the one where he's got his daily routine. And you got a delivery at 3:00, a delivery at 5:00 for jobs he set up the day before. It's all of these other potentials, and it's being able to have a really easy, intuitive interface that lets that technician deal with all of those potential jobs. But yeah, the point being is definitely want to serve the real-time requirement where I can go from a quote from a local supplier to an approved quote. Now I got an order, and boom, it's sitting in front of me in 30 minutes, right? Or 45 minutes. That's like where the end of the road is. It's going to take some time to get that all figured out. But I do think that is definitely what we're trying to solve for. But also when you do the research, that's probably 15% of the need normally, or the majority of the time, it's more like a planned delivery where I've got my day planned and I want to know when it's going to get there, when I'm going to do that job based upon, the customer quote or whatnot. So there's a lot of different options.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely, and I know that's the rare ones, but I feel like that's what a lot of people say, but I agree that that's a small percentage. It's just, a lot of these supply houses, they have 1 or 2 trucks, in-house trucks that they're trying to drop everything off in all these different locations. And it's like,
Joe.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I'm going to have that by 3:00 today or next Wednesday.
Yeah, It's like the old days with the old cable guy, right? Yeah, I'll be there between 12 and 5. You're like, what? Like, yeah, you have to sit there and wait and hope to God someone shows up. You're spot on. And so the whole idea is to have that, to use that experience we all have where the map is on your phone. You see the guy coming, you coordinate your day around it. It makes life so smooth, and you get rid of that entire anxiety of when the hell someone's going to show up.
Yeah, and also
it provides elasticity.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say real. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm just gonna say real fast is because especially now, especially after COVID, like even my office, like normally we're always there, but sometimes we let people go work from home one day, so we're not always at our shop. We have all the guys have a key code to get in if they need to get in, but it's not like somebody's always there for that delivery to come. So something like this, when it's like, oh, it's coming Thursday at 2:30, like, all right, well, I'm going to make sure that I'm here Thursday at 2:30 or whatever it is. And not saying we don't do that now, but you're there Thursday at 2:30 and nobody ever comes. So
Right.
Yeah, right. I didn't mean to interrupt you, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I was just explaining that it provides predictability for everybody involved, and reliability. So again, just more of that efficiency metric and quality that we're aiming to provide for the industry really comes through having an elastic fleet. So the distributor will be sending, we just call it round robin, right? Where they've got all those stops, which really leaves a lot of uncertainty to the contractor, right? Where they're like, where's my delivery? They don't have peace of mind that it's going to get there in time. Anything could happen. Maybe they're the 4th or 5th stop, and they're like, it just creates such a bottleneck that nobody needs to have. Our customer's customer is not happy with that experience. So the contractor purchases the items from the distributor, and then we just handle that communication through, okay, here's the live tracking, delivery's on its way. The distributor doesn't have to wait for their truck to come back. They can just serve it right away. There's no it's a basic intelligence test. Like, do you want to get these supplies to your customer who you value, or do you want to make them wait a day and a half and upset them, and then maybe even lose a sale to a competitor, right?
Yeah.
So and the fact we don't even get involved in the sales relationship, because that's a valued thing in this industry, a trusted sales relationship. HVAC technicians love their salesperson at the counter or inside sales, whoever they're working with at that company. For the most part, they like that relationship. We don't even get involved in that. That's just seamless in there. Bluon and Curri have built our businesses around fitting into the workflows that are most effective for the industry at large. It's already established. We just make those much more efficient, and the people and companies involved aren't that much happier with the way it's working. So there's a lot of people call us disruptors, but we're really I don't know. Disrupting has some negative connotations, right? Disrupting involves putting people out of business or doing things more efficiently. But Peter and I, when we first met, we had a great dinner down in I think Orange County, right, Peter?
Yeah.
Where we talked about just the fact that we are just wanting to fit into their workflows, help the industry, help all the stakeholders, and help all the businesses involved, make them more profitable, make them more successful. And all those things. And without those things, I don't think either of us would be very excited about what we're doing. But the fact of the matter is, we are excited because we get to hear from the customers that they're happy, and it's working out really well.
Yes, that's
awesome.
Super well said. Yeah, that word disruptor, I totally agree. It's got such a bad connotation in some circles. We're really enablers and efficiency creators, right? We're making everybody do their job better, faster, stronger, more profitable, just better, right? Easier, less frustration, less anxiety, more time back, more jobs done. If you get more time back and more jobs done, who doesn't win, right? Everybody wins. Right?
Yeah.
Every single person in the supply chain wins. And that's the name of the game, right? And the cool part about it is you get to give the benefit at the grassroots, or at least, at a tech level, but it filters up all the way, and everybody to the manufacturer is singing Dixie because they're all doing more business. They're all making more money, being more profitable, and having more direct, positive relationships with their various customers in that chain. And one more thing I was going to jump in there with is the coolest part about, I think, what this platform of merging sort of Bluon with Curri's logistics capabilities is it enables that 1 to 5 man shop equally with the 50-man shop. And as we all know, 2/3 of all HVAC contractors are 3 or 4 man shops, and they don't really get to have these typical resources available to them. And now they do, right? So now they become competitive, efficient, able to take advantage of things, in ways that they couldn't previously. And that's the most rewarding part of it, because you're getting these mini entrepreneurs and you're helping them. And, to me personally, that's by far the best part of what we're doing, is we're happy tens of thousands of little companies effectively, right, that are just way better off as a result of these tools. And it's just spectacular.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
100%. Real fast, so these people don't start yelling at me in the chat. Where is it? Somebody asked. It was trying to find his question. He asked, so Curri, are you guys, is this through people that work for Curri, or is it kind of like that DoorDash, Uber, where it's just people pick? Is it that same kind of concept, or is it like Curri employees, kind of like a FedEx kind of deal? I think that's what they're asking. I think that's what he's asking.
Yeah, it's the former, not the latter. So we're essentially contractors. So anybody who owns their own vehicle can move things for Curri and be on our platform. That said, we've got a ton of people out there who own many vehicles who are signing up to be on our platform, because we're a two-sided platform, right? Where we have the demand on this side and we have the supply on the other. So those are also stakeholders, right? So we want to make sure that supply is happy, so they can opt in on those rates or not, which again goes back to that fairness and what we're looking for. Happiness for our drivers as well as we are for our customers. I mean, in many ways, the supply side are our customers as well, right? We care deeply for them. And yeah, again, people who have semi trucks, people who are in businesses who have stake bed trucks, box trucks, things of that nature. They're all utilizing Curri to augment their revenue.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of funny to think of, let's say a driver X of a Prius or a small sedan. What would you rather do? Pick up a couple of drunk humans at at the side of a restaurant, or bring a couple motors over, to the same location, right? You get paid the same, exactly. No flack. It's a no-brainer, right? For that infrastructure that they've been able to tap into. It's really such a cool idea, and the outcome is just a big win.
Yeah, one of the other questions somebody asked.
Are the sorry, Gil.
No, I'm sorry. So one of the other questions, because they go so fast, I don't want to miss them. They said, what about warranty parts? Guys, warranty parts shouldn't matter, because you still order that like a normal part, and then warranty. So when you have a warranty part, you buy the part and then you turn in the part after the fact. So warranty parts shouldn't matter. You order a part and you get them to pick it up. That shouldn't be any different. So I think I can answer that one.
That's right. It's no different. It creates a little complexity that we're dealing with. We're going to make that more user friendly. Right now it works, but there is a little bit of complication there. But yeah, it's totally 100% the same process, and exactly what you said. I mean, you're basically dealing with the local supplier the same way you would deal with them otherwise if you phoned it in. It's no different, except for just being processed through a different platform, but it's the same.
So I do want to ask this, though, and not to be like negative Nancy, and I know it's probably rare that it's going to happen. It's just the crazy world. Like, say a plumbing company orders, $1,000 worth of copper, and it gets picked up, but it never gets there. Is there something to protect the contractor if that part doesn't get to where it's supposed to be?
That really doesn't happen, but let's just say let's paint a scenario that all those supplies just I don't know, someone got into well, I don't know, let's just, okay, whatever the scenario is, it didn't arrive. Curri's gonna make sure it arrives, just by making sure that those supplies either get resent same day, just so it still can keep on, schedules and timelines and timetables, like super important. And that's going to be on us, and then we take on that complexity internally. So that's just an escalation that we would handle internally. We don't pass on that friction to the customer.
Nice. Well, and that's what I figured. I know that's a question that somebody's going to ask, so I figure I'd rather ask you than me try to give some half-cocked answer to somebody. I've ordered DoorDash a million times, and I can count on one hand how many times I didn't get what I was supposed to get. But I feel like a lot of questions, exactly. That's what comes through, those what if. Well, what if a spaceship grabs the part and doesn't bring it over to me? And,
it's the same what ifs that exist today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like they have to pay for it twice. That's not going to happen. We're going to take on that again. We're going to take on that complexity. All right. Make sure it gets delivered. Make sure it makes it to the customer. Super important for us. Very important. We again, the reason why it's important is because we value our customers so much. We really have a deep respect for the trades. And yeah, I just think, I don't think that tech companies have been in a position to help them before, because I don't think they really understand their industry. And just the tech wasn't yet ready for the industry. And now it's actually, in a lot of ways, tech is catching up to actually what the customers need and what the construction industry needs as a whole. And the only way to do that properly is to be informed by the construction industry, by the individuals interacting with your product, not say, oh, you need this. No, not the case. They tell you what you need, and then you build around that, and then you optimize for that. And that's how you win.
That is, man. So I couldn't, literally that is our philosophy to a T. You can see why we get along. That's exactly the whole ball game, right? In all these HVAC, or trade verticals, they're not typical, right? You can't just take the tech Silicon Valley playbook and go, hey, I'm going to build a marketplace. I'm going to build this. I'm going to build whatever. It's not going to work, right? Because the way in which these businesses work are fundamentally different. And if you don't listen a lot, listen, feedback. We're changing and pivoting on an hourly basis to absorb that feedback from that customer, because ultimately their lens is all that matters. And again, how they interact in their, with their distributors, with their contractor, with their overall, their teammates is just not the same as it is in many other businesses. And so you need to be cognizant of that and build things around that, right? We always say we build everything through the lens of a tech, 100%, their vision is all we see, so to speak. And that lets everything get built right. And I think, Matt and his team are so fundamentally drawn to the same premise of building things that actually work for those people and not making them change how they work to fit that tech opposite.
That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like it. It's, obviously with working with Bluon and everything that you guys do and stand for, and, everybody that I've met has been amazingly, has been awesome. And they absolutely love, Peter, all of them. I was like, guys, he's not here. You don't got to kiss his ass. And they're like, no, I really, you can tell they're genuine, and we're not joking. So obviously anybody you guys partner up with is automatically adds validation to that. Now you guys would need it, but you know what I mean? It automatically does. And I feel like this partnership sounds awesome right now, and just like anything else when the Bluon app first came out, look at what it is now. So looking at this in its infantile stages and what it could be, could become is it's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? Is the evolving stages of our industry and things that we can do to make it easier for technicians and business owners. Because there's a lot of guys now going out trying to start their own companies, and like you said, that's going to be more of those small 1 to 4, 1 to 5 man shops, and features like this it's pretty amazing, and it's hard to put into words how much it helps and how much of a difference and impact it actually makes.
Totally. Yeah. And I do believe it's, we're gonna get launched with this initial sort of, MVP or initial offering of the integration, but it's gonna evolve, right? We're gonna get feedback. We're gonna understand nuances that are gonna make it more intuitive. Because ultimately, the one thing we always talk about, Gil, is that, technicians are interesting bunch, right? They're extremely skeptical. They have a very short learning curve. Like if it doesn't work for them in the first kind of 5 seconds, they're kind of like throwing out the garbage. But if you can get it right and it works for them intuitively, man, the loyalty is extreme, right? And so we want to make sure that we don't start off with something that's not too difficult, right? It's got to be at least pretty damn intuitive to start with, and then get better and better and better with that feedback. That's where we're being careful to make sure what we launch, it has that innate capacity, and it's not like, what the hell is that? How do I get this thing to work? It's got to be apparent and obvious, as everything we do. But I think you're right. This thing could blow up. It could change the entire way the entire industry operates when you think about it, which I think ultimately it will, because why wouldn't it? Right? Because it's so much easier and so much faster.
Well, we're in the day and age of Amazon. People want to order something and have it in 2 days, and I don't want to call the supply house anymore and sit on hold for an hour. Oh, hey, Gil, I know you spend, $1 million a year with me, but hold on 1 second. Like, no, asshole. Like, no, like, you're going to take my call. And the fact that you can do, and even like the online ordering through some of these supply houses, some are better than others, but that still hasn't caught up to what it should be. It's not like the Amazon and other stores in our industry. So something like this, through the Bluon app, that you're already there using it for other things. So it's not like you got to go from one app to another. It's just kind of all seamless. And that's the efficiency part that we were talking about. And like I said, it was funny. My guys have been preaching to me and loving Bluon before, like we ever talked. That's why I was so like happy to, to do that podcast. And, and they're like, they all asked me, they're like, are we going to be allowed to order parts through the app? And I'm like, yeah, like why would I tell everybody else, like, go order parts through the app and then tell my team you can't do it? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Peter, invite only, right? Invite only, just create the FOMO. That's right.
It's funny, Gil, because the reason those online supplyhouse.com and whatnot, the competitors haven't taken off at the tech level is because the tech doesn't know what they want to buy, right? We talked this last time, until they get the fucking part number, and that is not something that is obvious. And so we spent all of our time trying to make that process super easy, right? Find the model number, boom, I got the BOM, I got the part number, I got all the cross references over to the supply house, bang, I get the part I need. But you got to do all that research yourself if you want to go on supplyhouse.com and order it, which is, could be 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour just to get started to figure it out instead of 1 second. And that is why, that whole universe of options it's a tough sell to somebody who doesn't know what they need at that time.
Well, even some of the dipshits that work in these supply houses, like there's some great guys, but there's some of these guys that it's like, hey, I need this. They're like, okay, this is what I, you know what I mean? Like, and no offense to them, they don't know anything about the trade. They're getting a job. They're lower on the pay scale, and they have to learn. So they don't. Then you got to wait for that one guy that knows how to cross-reference and look things up. So
that's right.
That's why people need to, like, those little things save time, they add value, and it's headaches. Like, being a GM, like running the operations of the company, like, I try to put out fires, and then I try to put out fires before they happen. And little things like this just take stuff off your plate and make, like, so when you get to the point that I know, like right now, I tell the girls in the office, don't schedule to go back to a customer until that part gets here. because I want to make sure we have it. It's the right part before we schedule to go back out to the customer, because I don't want to call back with our tail between my legs. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Smith. I know we're scheduled to be out at, between 2 and 4 today, but the part never showed up. We look incompetent, even though it wasn't our fault. So something like this, it's like, okay, I know all those parts are going to be here today at, 3 o'clock. Schedule them for tomorrow. You know what I mean? You can put them on for the next day because we know those parts are going to be here at a certain time. And all those little things add up, which, sometimes it doesn't have to be some, cosmic move that people are like, oh, it's got to be this big, huge thing. Even something that takes care of a bunch of small things adds up at the end of the day. I'll make sure I'm trying to get that out right.
That makes a ton of sense. Real quick. Just with with the way that Curri and Bluon will be working to serve the HVAC industry, it's solving multiple bottlenecks at the same time. So all those points of friction for what you said, where you guys don't want to be caught with your pants down, telling a customer one thing and then having to take it back and then re-explain, and then because you falsely set expectations with the customer, everyone's upset, and that's a poor experience. Whereas with this partnership, that uncertainty on part numbers and then reliability on getting it to where it needs to go when it needs to be there, just ultimately is solving multiple bottlenecks that haven't been solved before, that haven't been utilized before or made available to customers.
Yeah.
So big. huge win coming up. I think I text Peter every few days, hey man, how are we looking? And it's getting closer and closer. So getting very excited.
Yeah, he said he was worried about you because you didn't answer him today through text message, man. We thought you weren't going to come.
Yeah, I was like,
just hang on the back of Jeeps on. I had a board meeting today, but you're on vacation in the back of Jeeps, hanging out in Block Island. So
that's right. Yeah. No, I know the board. You got a full hall pass. Board meetings I can't believe you're doing this right now. Usually I got to go to bed right after a board meeting for 12 hours.
Oh,
so
man.
yeah, I totally appreciate that. Well done.
Okay.
It's a move.
I'll take a recharge after this, but this is good. It's energizing. You're like the hype guy, Peter.
But I think what you just said a second ago, it really resonated, right? It's like you take away the part number cross-reference ambiguity simultaneously when the hell is this thing going to get here for my schedule appointment ambiguity, and that is just massive, right? So now you're dealing with this level of certainty that never existed before, a level of efficiency and dependability where you can really schedule your day now, as a small shop in a way you could never do before, right? You could never have that level of certainty throughout what you're working on. It really changes the way you probably go about scheduling because now you have that level of certainty, which just wasn't possible before.
Yeah, and something like that's huge. It's, we always, at least, at Beltway, at my company, we try to, the level of service that we give is, we're not the cheapest guy in town, but we always say that what I love to hear from customers is nobody's ever done that before. If we hear that, then we are doing exactly what I asked them to do. We're providing a level of service that's better than anybody else in my marketplace. So for us to be able to do that, we have to have companies like you guys. You know what I mean? People like you are tools that we use to be able to go to our customers and be able to provide that kind of level of service because we can't do it by ourselves. If we ride around with nothing on our trucks or shitty uniforms, all those other little avenues, one of those pieces of the puzzle is gone. You can't get to the end result. That's just the way it works.
Yeah. And what's really cool about all of this, right, when you really boil it down, is if you're a technician or a contractor or a one-man shop, whatever it may be, none of this really costs you anything. The delivery is going to cost you a line item like you would if you had it delivered by the local distributor, probably cheaper, but same areas. There's no increased cost, right? Everything costs the same, if not less. You're getting way more service, and you're supporting two companies that genuinely are trying every day to benefit the trade in a way that is just not done right at most shops. So it's a really cool thing, right? You have this power of your own choice. Like I choose to use, the Bluon app as a tech to get XYZ. I get my own support. It costs me nothing. I choose to use the Curri delivery option because of XYZ. It costs me no difference, probably less. And ultimately, you support the whole trade in a way that with your vote, right? It's a really interesting, opportunity.
This is the only time I'll ever ask you to vote blue. Sorry. Sorry, I couldn't help but say that.
That was good. Well played.
Yeah, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and that's when I talk to people. And, I tell them about, Bluon. For one, you're already going to be in the app using it because most of the guys, the technicians that I know are in that app on a daily basis. So you're already there. It's, it's just continuing the process as far as you go along. But I tell people even like those free items, there's no reason why any technician out there should not have Bluon on their phone. It's not like you guys are saying, oh, it's 20 cents a week. It is nothing. It is free. And there's no other reason. And to be able to get that free tech support on any brand, like we were talking the story a couple of weeks ago, we've all had that where you call, say you call Carrier, and I'm not trying to throw them because I'm a Carrier guy. I'm just saying you're not a factory authorized Carrier dealer. You call them trying to get tech support, they're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. That's right. That's what happens, And you guys do it for everybody on no matter what brand across different levels, different platforms. So if that is the only reason to get you to download the Bluon app in the beginning, so be it. And then once you get in there, you're going to realize the rest of the features. And then Curri is just going to tie into it. Oh, there's the part I need. Oh, here's the number. Oh, a quote. Oh, that's cheap. Let me order it. Oh, Curri's going to deliver it. Like that's how simple it's going to be and intuitive. So I hope you guys understand what we're trying to say. It's almost the same as, oh, DoorDash. Oh, there's McDonald's. Oh, I want the number one. This, you know what I mean? That's what it's going to be like for what we're trying to do. Maybe a little bit different as far as how it's done, but that's the sequence behind it.
Amen.
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. I mean, it's extremely complex behind the scenes, but ultimately you're right. That's the deal, right? And that's the whole point, right? We take this complicated sea of insanity and turn it into something, just a big red easy button, for the tech, and they go on their way. And because we know it's got to be easy and it's got to be repeatable, right? These, techs aren't going to spend a day figuring out how to use a new app. They're not going to fucking do it, and I wouldn't either. And they want a one-stop shop, and they want it to work for everything. And that's what we're trying to build.
Yeah. And somebody just asked, is it available for commercial or is it just residential based? This is anything, right?
Yeah, it's anything.
Completely agnostic on general or not, or like private construction, like whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Whoever is selling construction and industrial supplies, we move it, and yeah, just completely, we're for the whole industry. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Nice.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yes, the typo is fixed. I'm sorry, that's the ticker on the top first said forest or something like that. Stop busting my balls, you assholes. Jesus. Guys in the chat, man, they don't miss anything. I fixed it in the background. It says
that's
first
awesome,
now.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no. So when is this? So what is, not to hold you guys to a timeline, because I understand things like this, they're always constantly developing. What people were asking, like, what does the timeline look like? When is something like this going to be going to hit the market for us to be able to try and use?
I got to be careful because if I say the wrong date, Matt will hunt me down and kick me in the nuts.
I'm loving this.
So, we're scheduled to get this thing out the door, no later than, I would say, just because I want to give myself a buffer, no later than November 1st. That's our goal. We hopefully earlier, but I want to not set expectations. It's a bit of a a bit of a bender to get the integration with Curri is pretty simple. I mean, they created this beautiful API we touch into. It's fantastic. But the way in which you get to that is not simple. And so we've been really noodling it and creating the interface that works well for all those situations we talked about earlier. So we're super stoked about it. It's going to come out. It's going to work. It's going to work well. It's going to answer all those questions. And everybody that's on the Bluon community will be getting updates about that. And everybody will know about it, as it's coming down the pipe. So yeah, that's the first plan. But I would say 100% this year. Our date is November timeframe. But that's the goal. Yeah. I mean, we're super stoked about it. We actually put another couple of people on the project recently because it was getting more nuanced. But yeah, that's I don't have to get in the weeds on it, but that is the program.
Awesome. Don't kick him in the nuts, man.
I'm not. I'll just increase my texting.
Right. Well, we could have released it earlier. Here's the deal. Is, we've learned one thing, I guess kind of the hard way, but the right way. It's if you release something too early with text and the experience isn't great, you're fucked. And so we want to release it where that experience is definitely really good, right? It might not be perfect, but it's really good. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, oh shit, I get it. Okay, I know how this works. Versus like, wow, I didn't understand any of that. And then you give up, or then you're going to ignore it, right, for the future. So we're really cognizant of that and want to make sure that first experience is good.
I agree 100%.
That's also part of that feedback loop, we're looking for, right? So, you typically sandbox a product when you first release it out into the wild, and you want that feedback loop to be super, super fast. Customers don't always want to be part of that feedback loop, but like when they want something to work so badly, then, you get someone who really cares. Like, I want this to succeed. I want this to be, to make my life better. And that's some of the best feedback you can get. Even when you have people super, super irate and upset at you, they're upset because they love the product. They want it to work better for themselves. So they're upset. So those are the customers I listen to the most. I'm like, sweet. Like I'm not happy they're upset. What I'm happy about is like, oh, they love our product. They love what we're doing. They're upset it's not working. Like, tell me more. I don't care how many curse words they're throwing at me. I just want to hear it. And I tell them, thank you. This is great. I'm like, and then immediate fixes start to be deployed. I hope customers, like even just everybody working with Bluon as well, like realize that this is, you're part of building something great for your industry. And, if there's a couple bumps here and there, like just tell them. They're listening. They're going to fix that shit super fast.
Yep.
And when they're listening, you know what I mean? Like, people know that Bluon is listening, that when you say like, oh, and you can see things have constantly evolved and got better. And I agree that, even if I rather wait till November 15th, if it meant what you just said, like, okay, November 1st, maybe we got to fix this one little thing before we put it out. I would rather wait and it makes sense, than some people try to push it out and it flops. And even though it's still going to be a great thing, I do agree. You'll lose some people because they're like, oh, I did that and it was shitty. It's like, oh, but have you went back? No, because they won't, because that's how these techs are. So I agree with that 100%. They have very short, frames, not to, insult my brethren and sisters, but it's the truth.
Yeah, just and it's it's because how they operate, right? They're the kind of people that they see their environment, they fix it, right? That's what they do. And so if you give them something that I'm in that environment and I didn't work, next one, and it's just that quick, right? It's just like that's their approach, which is why they're so great at being a tech. I always say being an HVAC service tech is really remarkable, right? You're an electrician, you're a plumber, you're a diagnostic genius, and you're a customer service person wrapped into one in some way that's just kind of inhuman. To be able to do those things, right? When you think about it from a trade perspective, to have all those skill sets, combined.
Somebody just asked, Curri, so it's like the payments, like how does the payment happen? Is that in the application or?
Yeah, Peter can take this one. He's much more articulate than I am in this way.
Yeah, this was actually the thing we had to solve for, right? So we know that if you have to make it a separate thing to pay for, it's going to be a horrible adoption. So basically, it would just show up on the PO like it would from any other supplier. So it'll be end up billing through your supplier on the PO relative to that quote. So it'll be a line item like, $30, $50, whatever it is for that particular delivery, will be just tacked onto that job, or you can tack it on independently, but it will come to you as a bill from the same local supply house, not from Bluon, not from Curri. One bill, totally consolidated, super easy, no new accounts, no new nothing. Hit the button.
Nice.
Simple.
That's awesome. That's not what I didn't even think about that side, but that's perfect. Because I mean, like we said before, you would be paying that shipping fee if you were getting it through them and they were charging you freight for whoever they use elsewise. So I mean, that's all the same thing. That's fucking great. That's great news.
Yeah, that was a big hurdle, right? Because if you had to set up a new account, that's a massive barrier, right? And a pain in the ass and a headache for everybody. And we all know that at the end of the day, contractors depend on their local distributors for credit effectively, right? For net 30, whatever they're paying them. So we're feeding into that same system, just gets lopped onto that PO. You pay that when you would pay it normally. Yeah, really easy.
Yeah, somebody said, are they going to have monthly installments? No, they're not doing monthly installments. Just they're gonna pay your bills. But good news is when the HVAC Uncensored merchandise store drops, you can get that in monthly installments. So go buy stuff.
And also, again, it's on their distributor, right? Like who they're already doing business with. Like this is the whole thing. Like Bluon and Curri have built tech that completely revolves around the current existing workflow. It's just taken the current existing workflow and made it 10x better.
Nice.
Exactly. Yeah. Ease and similarity, right? That's the key.
Yeah, no, that's sweet. Yep. I'm really, really, really pumped for this because, like I said, I've always thought about something like this, and when I said I thought about it sooner, I just know how people try to force things, but just the way we evolve. And that's why when we first talked and I was like, man, if you have somebody deliver it, because I'm like, it's such a huge thing and fills a necessary void. So I can't wait for this to take off and see how it works. I think that this is a game changer without a doubt. Even in its infantile stages, it's a game changer.
Big time.
So I know you guys have been to a bunch of meetings. Mr. Peter, you're on vacation, so we just hit an hour. If there's anything that either of you would like to cover or say, if I may have missed anything before we start to close this out, I mean, please, let me know.
I just want to thank you, actually, for even the way you started out your show, like showing respect for this country. My dad was a Marine.
Semper Fi.
Yeah, group with a lot of values and respect for our veterans and for this country, and it's not seen enough, especially even in the tech industry. And I know that we're an anti-pattern to that. Bluon and Curri. So yeah, thank you for that. I think that warrants special attention. Means a lot to me personally as well. So I just want to thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm a military family, so that means the world to me. So it's we bleed red, white, and blue, and that's why I like to do that, because I feel like, especially in the world that we live in, that people get caught up in the BS and we forget what it's all for. And that's why I always wanted to do the pledge and do things like that, because of how important I'm able to be on a podcast talking to gentlemen like you because of the country that we live in. So,
Yeah, amen to that.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think we're all on the same page there, big time. I mean, it is interesting being, in the tech world, but also being, on the the patriotic side of the universe, right? And being in a place where you have deep founded respect for the Constitution, what this country means. I talk about it like every day in the office, and it's pretty cool because you can see the younger folks. We've got a ton of 21, 22, 23, 24-year-olds running around, and when they understand it, when you start to you get them to get the picture right. A lot of them have been skewed right from their university XYZ. And you see that shift. We're like, wow, I didn't really think about it that way. That's amazing. And, it's like getting people to really understand what the hell this whole thing is about. And it's all about, respect of the individual, respect of someone's being able to, take care of themselves and make their own way through the world without anybody giving them any shit. It's pretty spectacular. So I think we're all on the same page there in a really big way.
Yeah. And I think, especially going through COVID, it opened up our eyes to how important the trades are. And, we Mr. Peter, we got into the whole last time we talked about the whole college, and I won't go down that rabbit hole, college and trade school and all that, but it's just, it's the truth. And, I don't want to say it because I have some merchandise coming out with this on it, but it's, this country was built on tradesmen's backs. I mean, and that's just the truth. We built this city, we built this country because, and it'll always be that way. So I think the trades is almost, it's not like military and shooting a gun and fighting police officers, stuff like that. But it is almost kind of patriotic to be able to do this kind of stuff because this is what our forefathers were coming over here. They were iron workers. They, well, I guess they weren't iron workers, but, you using tools and different things like that. Farmers, like just those blue collar working kind of jobs. So I think it all circles around pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, you're spot on. We built everything. I mean, 35, 40 years ago, we literally built everything, right? And now we built, relatively little on the world stage, but the trades are this last bastion, of that wherewithal, of that skill set, of that drive, to build, right? And I think, it's super cool. I come from a family, my dad was a Marine also. I come from a family of, construction workers and blue collar guys. And it's just, you can't have a deeper respect for those people. We interview hundreds of techs a month, right, to come work at Bluon, and like 95% of them are spectacular human beings, right? They're just great people, right? I interview 100 people for a dev job, and it's the opposite. Let me tell you right now. So there's this, like, the people are just built different, right? They're just from a different class of human, which is just hard to put your finger on, but it's a whole different animal.
Yeah. Make HVAC great again. Come on. We got to do that. All right. So I'm going to start with the political puns. I'm sorry. I know I've said a few here tonight.
You've seen our hat, right? We have that hat that says that, which is spectacular. It's blue. So it cuts through the political. It's confusing, right? It's blue, but it says make HVAC great again. It's like this great, double meaning.
That's awesome.
I'll send you one.
Yeah. Hey, I got people giving wrong camera. I keep using the wrong camera. I got all the different Bluon hats, and it was funny. I was on vacation, and not to keep you guys too long, and I was wearing my Bluon shirt, and an HVAC guy across the street from my beach house was he was like, "Oh, Bluon." He was like, "Oh, I use that app." He's like, "You HVAC guy?" We got to talking, and then he talked about HVAC Uncensored, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm Gil." And he was like, "No shit." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's actually my group." And you would have thought this guy just met like Michael Jordan, but the conversation started because of Bluon. So that was what was so cool about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I make sure I rock my my Bluon gear.
I need to send you some hats, apparently.
Yeah, please. I always wear the different stuff. Plus, we constantly do different giveaways that these people love. So we'll give away the hats, the cups, all different kinds of stuff, just to give back, because these people are all working class people. So if I can give them some tools, a hat, whatever it is, I'm always trying to give things back, and they all like to rock the different hats and stuff like that.
They love the hats, man.
Yes, they do.
Cool.
Especially when you're bald guy, and you gotta accessorize the bald head. So, but gentlemen, thank you guys so much for coming tonight. It sounds like you guys both had busy days. I'm glad, Mr. Peter, that you're finally taking a vacation after what you said earlier. And thank you for the continued partnership. I love being affiliated and partnered with Bluon. It's amazing. I feel like we just stand for the same stuff. It just makes sense. And it was awesome to meet you, Mr. Matt. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you. And hopefully you guys, once this actually launches or whatever, maybe we can come back on and talk about it and you know, whatever. The door's always open. So all you have to do is, you know, reach out to me. Miss Alice can reach out to me, however you guys want to do it. And we can do this again.
Would love that. Thanks, Gil.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Gil.
Yep.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. Let me start to close this thing out here real fast. If you guys a mute. So, guys, thank you so much as always for being here live. It looked like we got up between Facebook and YouTube. We got up to almost like 100 people at one time. So that's a pretty decent night compared to some of the other videos. The same people as always. Thank you guys here for the support, man. I appreciate you. Just so you know, in the next coming weeks, I will be scheduling another hangout so we can start knocking out some more giveaways. I have some more things to give away. We still have the Yellow Jacket wireless manifold that was never claimed, which is kind of crazy. So we still have that to give away. I have a Makita drill set. I have all kind of things to give away. But the deal is you have to be here live. All right. I'm not doing those that people come in and comment and then they don't come in and watch the live. I want to give things back to the supporters that support the show and they're here. So you have to be here live in order to be able to win. All right. If you're not, then you will not win. Yep. Guys, remember, this week had a Monday show, Wednesday show. Next week, special episode on Monday, normal show on Wednesday. Monday, I'm pretty sure the Monday show is Mr. Flintstone from Instagram. Cannot wait to talk to Mike. That is going to be a great show. But once again, thank you guys. If you have not downloaded the Bluon app, what the fuck are you waiting for? Go download the app. It is a resource in your pocket and all the other things they're getting ready to do. Download the fucking app. All right. I don't know how else to say it to you guys, man. Even if you use it for just manuals and tech support, that's enough reason to download it right there. All right. We have in the process of scheduling another Bluon tech support episode so you guys can meet a lot of these amazing technicians that are on the other side of the phone. We're going to keep doing that, keep covering different topics. So I'll get that out to you guys soon. But that's about it. Remember to follow me on all the social media. Pretty much it's going to be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram is going to be the main three to follow me on to stay up to date on everything that's going on with the podcast. Guys, be safe out there, all right? We all got somebody to make it home to. We live in a crazy world. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your eyes open. Do the little things, all right? Keep trying to better yourself. If you want something, goddamn it, go get it. Nobody's going to knock on your door and give it to you, all right? There's so many resources out there, podcasts, YouTube videos, books, whatever it is. If you don't know because you don't want to know. There's ways to find out, all right? I want you guys to push yourself and, you know, it sounds corny, but follow your dreams, man. Go get what you want to get, all right? Nobody's going to give it to you. If I can help you guys in any way, you know that I'm always here. I don't know everything. If I don't know the answer, I'll help you find it. We'll learn this shit together. You know what I mean? I'm down. But that's about it, man. I love you guys. Until next week, I will see you mofos later, right back here, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
Oh, yeah. And thank you to my moderators real fast. Appreciate you guys.